You don't want to go at the front there, everybody's looking. I can hold it while she blows the candle.
Yeah, right.
Hey?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Laura. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Happy birthday!
Say something that's not relevant to Laura's birthday, but there's been a little lady in the kitchen working for about 3 days, and it's Leslie.
Yeah.
I'd like to really say a big thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing, Leslie. Thank you very much. And I'll get on to this other little special lady here in my life. And as we all know, Laura, I've written out a few notes here, so there's nothing very embarrassing.
Oh.
Want your glasses? I was going to stand, yeah.
It's all good, it's all good. I've got nothing nasty to say. Laura. No, I just need to be more safer, probably. As you know, when through life we seem to be wishing our life away a lot, and right from the time like Laura was 1, she was sort of looking for Christmas and couldn't wait for Christmas to come, and then she couldn't wait stop when she was 3. She couldn't stop wetting her pants and that. So time would go on. She couldn't wait to get to school, and then the next thing she couldn't wait to finish school. She couldn't wait to turn 17. It was always hurry up, I want my driver's license. She got that the day she turned 17, and things go on. She couldn't wait to be 18. She couldn't wait to kiss the first boy. And so it's always waiting, and life seems to go on so slowly, as we all know at that age. But believe me, once you get to 21, the next 50 years will go a lot quicker. And you'll know about it when you get to my age, and you'll be wishing that you weren't wetting the bed. I can't really see what I've written down here, so it's not as useless me trying to even read it, because it's...
Get some glasses.
Get some light over here, Bryce. Yeah, there we go. All right, now I'll go down to here. She's always been very passionate and enthusiastic about everything she does, whether it be the Eagles, and she dislikes anyone that might like the Dockers. So if I say I've got a soft spot for the Dockers, she doesn't like that at all.
You're lucky to be here.
And her passion, as you know, like with the Eagles, she's really just about their number 1 supporter right from the day when they used to kick the first goal, and she was only that high. She used to get there and go goal all the time, and she has many friends, and she'd like to invite a lot more, but the poor old dad just couldn't afford to put on much more show, you know. And it's fantastic to see all of you who are here, who are very close friends. So it's fantastic you all come, and I'm sure she'll thank you for all those lovely presents you brought in there, and so on. Hang on. Oh, I'm about here dribbling along somewhere. Her tennis has been a great inspiration for her, and I really fantastic that she's had a sport in her life that kept her on the pretty straight and narrow. I always reckon to have something in the sporting thing, so I reckon that's been good for her life. She's always been known to a lot of people as Little Jan. Junior Jan, they call her, yeah. So, and I really, pity any fella that might want to bloody latch onto her, because, God, I'll tell you what, I might be glad to see her go, but he'll be glad to give her back, I reckon. She's always been a little bit dodgy around the tennis court. She likes embarrassing me by calling a lot of balls out that I don't think are out. But truly, put it in here, Bryce. That's right. Laura, we're going to have Leon on a bit of a stage here, but get him here. But is he over there?
On Skype.
On Skype. G'day, Leon.
Hey!
I was always grateful that Leon and Laura weren't of the same age, because I'm sure they would have killed each other. Because even now, she seems to boss Leon around, and Leon doesn't like being bossed around at any stage, I can tell you, but Bryce is a bit more passionate, ain't you, Bryce? She's been a great strength to me through all her mother's illness, and sorry.
You don't have to say it. We know. See ya.
Yeah, we know.
Says, I'm truly grateful that Liam was not about the same age as I'd like to say it anyway, as I think they would like to have killed each other. Her strength, though through her mother's illness, has been incredible, as is her support for myself. I'm sure she will make a great mother in time, but God, don't change anything, little Jan. You have a great night and life. Love, Dad.
Thanks, Sandy. Thanks. Sorry I couldn't get through that.
All I can say if you... Oh, go. Well, I like that.
Very nice.
Dad, I know I was an accident that one night in the caravan. But I'm here today 21 years later, and I'm so grateful that I was brought up by you and Mum. You've allowed me so many opportunities, you've supported me in so many things, and you've directed me in the right direction. So thank you. And Dad, you've been to nearly every tennis match. I don't really think I can recall which one you haven't been to. You put up with all the dummy spits, I'm sorry. Been there for all the wins, it's great. And yeah, continue to come please, because I love having your support on the sideline. To my mum, please stop stressing. I know you're up there stressing tonight, and I've done enough of that this week for you. I definitely got that from you. I'd really like to thank you for the 20 and a half years that you shared with me, and I'm thankful for the beautiful memories that I now live with every day, and the lessons that you taught me to now move on in my life. So wherever you are, thank you. To my brothers, thank you for putting up with everything. I know I used to bash down your doors when you locked them, and I barricaded, everything that you put in there to stop me from getting in. But thank you for the support and protecting me over the years, because it's been amazing, and I love you all so much. Thank you to everyone coming out tonight. You don't understand how much it means to me. It's absolutely amazing to have you all in the one spot, especially everyone standing up here tonight. I never have them in the one spot. They all live over East End. So thank you. Thank you to Auntie Les and everyone for helping set up. This is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Thank you, everyone dressed up, and it's amazing. And please get on that bucking bull, because we don't have it all night. And I don't want to see anyone excuses. If you've got a skirt on, I put shorts over there. Thank you, everyone, for the gifts. It's absolutely overwhelming, and I'd love to have opened them tonight, but it's just not going to happen, so I'll have to open them tomorrow. Thank you in advance. Thank you very much. And I look forward to the good times ahead in the next 21 years and the memories I'm going to share with you all. So thank you.
Okay, so I'm not really one for speeches, but I got off the plane last Saturday and Laura informed me I need a farmyard outfit and to write a speech for 21st. So here goes. I've known Laura for about 6 and a bit years, and to this day I remember our first meeting. We were in year 9 homeroom with good old Mr. Tozer, and Laura came over to my desk and was like, "Hi, I'm Laura," or at least that's what I thought, to be completely honest. I'd only been in Australia for a few years, and her accent and how fast she spoke threw me. But to be completely honest, I think what stunned me the most was that such a loud voice could come out such a small thing. The loudness we have tried to work on over the years, and teach her to use an inside voice, but this has not gone with much luck. As for her size, Laura's never slow to remind everyone that good things come in small sizes. As I got to know Laura over the years, I learned a few things. Firstly, that she's probably the most Aussie person I will ever know. She would frequently ask me if I saw people riding their kangaroos to school. She taught me everything I know about AFL, but the two most important lessons were, one, the Eagles were the only team I should ever support, and this was because their players were the best looking. And second, that she was going to marry Ben Cousins. Laura has a way of making lightheartedness of any situation, seemingly unintentionally. Numerous days are spent in laughter with her, and her blondness sometimes too willingly shines through. In saying this, Laura is very strong-minded, and an image from 10th grade English comes to mind. We were talking and not doing a lot of work as per usual, and the topic of my surname came up, to which Laura corrected me as the pronunciation of my own surname. And continued to argue for a good 20 minutes that the way I pronounced my South African surname was wrong. Eventually she gave up the fight after I reminded her that it was my surname we were arguing about. To be honest, Laura is lucky to be standing here today, as her hanging around me has led to some dangerous encounters. Like the numerous times my mum would offer to give her a lift home from school and I would hit her head with the boot door, unintentionally of course, and the incident with the neighbour, where we dropped Laura off at home and she opened the car door onto the grass. To this, she carried on talking as per usual, and next minute, the door was smashed into by the neighbour who had driven off onto the grass. Laura was not harmed, but the look of shock on her face was priceless.
Was she still talking?
But in saying this, Laura's craziness makes her the unique person she is. She's an amazing person who has had a great impression on many of us. My family love her to death and would adopt her as their own if they could. My grandparents, who met Laura only once, ask how she is, without fail, every weekend when I talk to them. Laura doesn't realise how special she is, but all I can say is, Laura, don't ever change. You're a beautiful, talented woman who can go far in life. You're a lovely, fun, kind person, and tonight, on your 21st birthday, I thank you for your craziness, your laughter, the numerous outings to Warwick Cinema, and your friendship. Happy birthday, Short.
I have the smallest cards in life, so I apologise. Okay. No, sorry about that. What on earth can I say about Laura? There's too much. But I'll start by saying there's no one like her. She is my best friend, and even though we are very different, we somehow are the perfect match. I'm sure you all have crazy stories about Laura, so because of this, I've created a list. Now, I'll start with, well, you probably won't get embarrassed, but I'll start with the creation of Don. Bear with me. Possibly the most ridiculous nickname in the world. It all began at school, in art class, when we studied Donatello. We were told to make a poem, but we were stuck finding words to rhyme with bronze. So, of course, Laura being Laura, shortens Donatello's name to Don, making the line, "This smooth work of Don's." Somehow, in our stupid Year 11 minds, we thought that calling each other Don was hilarious, and so the nickname stuck. Next is Europe, where I became a machine keeping up with Laura. The most eventful place was Shagaloo, aka Magaloo, in Spain. This consisted of Laura stacking it downstairs while I talked my way out of buying sunglasses from a man on the street, collecting as many free t-shirts from the pubs and clubs as possible, Laura puking up red and freaking out that she's bleeding internally. But she was drinking pink and red drinks all. Oh, and did I forget? Nearly getting killed, slight exaggeration, when we had our door nearly broken down in the middle of the night and had to change hotels. Other than these stories, there are continuous things Laura does that you may have noticed before. One you can look out for tonight is the drinking arm/hand. Now, this is an example. She can either do it while she's drinking, like this with the point, or she can do it while she's dancing. So look out for it. Another one is the constant failure to remember words to songs. Now, she makes them up her own. on our own. So, for example, begging you becomes beggy glue. And big jet plane becomes picture frame. Yes, Laura, come and take a ride on a picture frame. I could go on forever, but I fear it may scare people away from the party. So I'll finish by saying, it has by far been the toughest time in your life lately. Yet look at you, with your costume and your bucking bull. You're the strongest person I know, and you're amazing. I'm so happy to have you in my life, and I'm sure many people here feel the same way. Happy 21st, Laura.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and in case you need it tonight, I've got you a present. For those of you that don't know, at my birthday, my 18th, she was peeking up in the roast beef room.
I tried to save the seal the thing I didn't know.
You still made it all night.
So much spewing I've never heard.
Jackie, move over. Jackie.
Holmes was born on this
Oh,
day
no.
21 years ago, to the joy of many. However, those who liked their peace and quiet were in for a shock. As we all know, Laura is a big talker and a loud one at that. Fast forward about 10 years and you'll have a slightly awkward child like the rest of us. I encourage you all to keep an eye on those photo slides for a laugh. But it wasn't until a further 5 years or so that I met and became friends with Laura. In fact, we can't really remember how we met, but we do know for sure that we bonded over a pretty embarrassing moment in athletics squad. Laura and I were the only 2 students whose legs were too short to be able to participate in the hurdles exercise. Instead, we were told we just had to keep running around the oval together. From there, we never actually had any classes together, but Laura's sense of humour and amazingly cheerful spirit made her a great friend to have. Mind you though, sometimes we've been laughing at her instead of with her. At school once, Laura was trying to tell me something about a girl in our year whose name she'd forgotten, so she was trying to describe her to me, with no avail. So I asked, "So what race is she?" To which Laura replied, "Oh, she's a nerd." Now, it was quite important to me for obvious reasons that I explained to her that us nerds were not in fact a different race to everybody else. Much more recently, over at Rottnest last month, Laura was occupying the top bunk one night, looking out the window. "Oh look, a spotlight," she said, to which Emma and I said nothing. A few minutes later, "That guy with the spotlight is still there," she said. "There it is again." "Oh, there it is again." By this stage, Emma and I had both realised this spotlight was in fact the lighthouse. And by the time we'd started laughing at her, she still didn't have a clue. But unfortunately, all of the dirt I have on Laura is pretty harmless. I can't think of anything terrible to reveal, other than the Rosemary Bush incident, of course. But true to form, Laura's told everyone about that story herself anyway. One final thing I wanted to talk about was our mutual love of sport. Much to my dismay, Laura has got us on TV at the cricket more times than I care to remember. She's always been my cricket buddy and my AFL rival. Her love for Ben Cousins still to this day, I'm a little concerned about, especially considering recent events. But I'm sure one day we'll all move on. For example, the other day we had plans for a Saturday morning and she texted me at 11 saying she'd be over in 5 minutes. But I replied saying a really great tennis match was about to begin on TV, and so she agreed that we'd go in the afternoon instead. Laura is my only friend capable of understanding such ridiculous problems I have. Her dream, she tells me, is to win a gold medal at the Olympics and have the Australian national anthem played in her honour. So we were discussing the potential in equestrian, shooting, and how the Winter Olympics didn't really count. We finally settled on trampolining purely because it looks fun. But I've had another idea, Laura. The International Olympic Committee have agreed that if you can drink this in 21 seconds, you'll be the world champion.
I won't go, Chris. Go.
Happy birthday, Laura.
Alex, you're up.
That's it, folks. I think that's it. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, do you want to hold the cup for me? Arm's getting sore.
It just shows that Laura loves hearing about herself in these speeches she's asked. But I'll keep mine quick and nice. I've known Laura for roughly 3 years now. I spend 5 days a week, 40 hours a week with her, and that's when we don't hang out on the weekend. If I had to choose one word to describe Laura, it would be passionate. Laura is passionate about her sport. Not a day goes by where I get a tennis update, a cricket update, or a Tour de France update. And then there's the occasional arguing with the umpire on the netball. Laura is passionate about her dress-ups. And so, we have here. From the 1st of December until the 25th, the elf hat comes out, the Santa's Little Helper apron, and it's religiously worn by Laura around the office. The bunny ears and the drawn-on whiskers come out at Easter, and even the glasses and highlighter drawn-on scar come out with the release of Harry Potter. Laura is passionate about her work. Laura only has one tone, and it's definitely not an inside voice, and one pace, running. When something goes wrong, everyone knows about it, and we all have to get on board to fix it. And last but not least, Laura is passionate about her family and friends. No matter the hurdle, but you can't even do them apparently. Laura always has something nice to say about everyone. She always has a smile on her face and always asks how your day is going. You're an amazing person, and to you little pocket rocket, happy 21st.
Sorry, I just told you. I wrote a speech, so I have to say it. First, I'd like to say Laura's a passionate pain in the ass. And secondly, here's a voucher to Leadable Drug Rehab to see Ben Cousins. Right, I've written a little poem for Laura. Well, if it gets too much, just tell me to stop.
Push you in the pool.
It does not seem that long ago I was excited so soon. It was announced you'll be born. Brother Leon, on the other hand, looked like he'd swallowed a thorn. My parents, how could this happen? In their 40s, he'd sworn. Aren't you guys done? Your bits must be worn. How dare it be, Dad, that you still get a horn? Unlike Leon and I, born at Glam St John of God's, local Glengarry for Laura, Glengaz got the birth table mods. I thought, what bloody good odds. As while I wait for your timely arrival, one thing for certain was my likely survival. For a very short stretch in a clickety-clacks, from the hospital 5 minutes would be our local Hungry Jacks. Junior Jan, I'm sure in the street it would have been said, don't ever tease Laura, you might end up dead. When a little Matthew Turnbull attempted this dread, Laura's face went from white to deep red, and the little Matthew Turnbull scored a rock to his head. I always recall Laura loving an egg. Googie, googie, I want googie, she said. After her googie, she was happy and fed. Till Mum made a statement that I agreed to be true. The eggs in this house, Laura, is eating more than a few. Squawk became apparent. I want a googie. Then Mum sternly said with concern on her head, no more googs, you're starting to look like an egg. And Laura did, she was looking like a little human egg. I found this very humorous. Like Dr. Evil, he had a mini-me. Who would have thought for our mum one would be? On this date today, 21 years ago, at the suburban Glengarry Hospital, little Laura did show. So after a whopper at Glengarry Hungry Jack's, the birthing baby's hospice, I began to make tracks. Thinking, what on earth is happening? What soon will I see? A boy or a girl? What will soon be? Outside of the birth room, where soon I would see the crazy little spirit in the form of a baby. The hall I walked up and down so nervously as a nurse stood close to me, excited and smiling at my high energy. She said, you're so nervous, it's as though you're the father. I said, let me tell you, my dad Russet would rather. Then she was born, she is a miracle of nature's true wealth. A miracle indeed, Brother Leon told himself. In that first year, I felt subtle fear. Not only that Mum had me wiping your rear. Oh, that unique Muppet squawk. That squawk had some range. Then I think for a moment, did anything change? Bryce, tea's ready, she would scream at the top of her voice. A soft, gentle volume was never her choice. When she was little boy, she thought she was the boss. To defy her command, she often got hoss. When Mum told me once, please don't shave your head, I decided I'd rather do so instead. I arrived home not to Mum, but to an unhappy mini version, whose eyes looked right through me with no way of diversion. Little Laura looked upon me, her eyes full of rage, acting as though she was double my age. She shook her head with disbelief and proceeded to talk, more with disappointment and a little less squawk. What have you done? You're not the same Bryce anymore. I'm thinking, who is this kid? You're only aged 4. How cute! Unga unga were the first words she would say. But so many words were to follow on from this day. When Simpson started, Simpa, Simpa. So cute were the words she did say. But up to this day, many words she did say, and let me tell you, the cute went away. A giggle in and out, I must admit, came from me when the future of something I could clearly foresee was friends laughing at you when the time came for you to announce your unique second name. Phyllis. But Laura, such an old-fashioned name, is a small price to pay to see how proud your name was 21 years ago today. That in the miraculous time it was that you came, that Mum chose for you to share in your Nan's name. A few years later, it was maybe a waiter that gave Russ the idea he could use a little water when the question was asked, how old's your granddaughter? Her brother Leon, age 15, was down at the shop. The situation and event I clearly did mock. A baby Laura went along for something to do. A nice lady asked Leon, how old be your daughter? I'm guessing around 2. You and Leon so alike, you fought such a lot. Even when he was 18 and you still in your cot. Mum then would yell out, how old are you, Leon? Will you grow up and stop? Oh yes, but you and me, Laura, you were always my treasure. Even when you were bad, it gave me humorous pleasure. Too much all would say you spoiled that child, you'll regret it someday. But did I ever listen? Mum would say, Bryce, you're a wally. You've gone and brought her another damn lolly. For I was silly. Clearly she was too young to see the joy little treats for a rather small fee, to see that smile with a gap because of the lolly in me. For these days, every time I want a treat from the cupboard, I surely have to run it by little Miss Hubbard. Cupcakes for her work dues, full of delight and much glee. Oh please, Master Laura, just a nibble for me. Just a small taste of your jelly cup, Freddo Frog. Come on, please, you gave 2 to the dog. Okay then, if there's a little left over. Now go away now, you hardly look sober. I remember a time, I believe it is true, you wanted to be more like me than you. I can remember from the corner of my eye you tried to stand like me. I tell you no lie. Oh, gone are the days you thought I was cool, rather then rather now a spanner or an overgrown tool. But Laura, to be serious for now, Mum knew I was unusual and Leon loves art, and she would always thank God you did not grow into a tart. But really, Mum gave us so much, and she gave us you from love's purest touch. And I know that she's proud of you and who you've become, as I am too, and forever and ever I'll always love you. As Mum, Dad and Leon and Sherlock do too. Happy birthday, darling sister. Thank you for you. I know I'm being sappy, but deep down you love it, you do. A big difference in age it seems that we are, although I know in maturity you think we're not far. But when I annoy you or give you unhappies, just never forget I changed your nappies.